In 1953, in the bustling, humid capital of the Philippines, something happened that would terrify the nation and echo through the decades as one of the most disturbing and well-documented cases of possession in Southeast Asia. This is the story of Clarita Villanueva, a 17-year-old girl whose cries were ignored until the wounds on her body spoke louder than any scream ever could. Clarita was born in Bacolod, on the island of Negros, and from the very beginning, her life was shadowed by the strange and the supernatural. Her mother was a spiritist, someone who practiced seances, rituals, and communication with the dead. Clarita grew up watching her mother summon spirits and speak to what others couldn't see. But when her mother died, Clarita was left completely alone. No family, no money, no home. She drifted to Manila, living on the streets, vulnerable and desperate. Eventually, she was arrested by police for vagrancy and suspected prostitution, though many believe she was simply a lost girl, surviving the only way she knew how. She was locked away in the crumbling walls of Manila City Jail, a place known more for its overpopulation and misery than for justice. At first, she was just another forgotten girl behind bars, but within days, the prison would be gripped by fear. Clarita began screaming uncontrollably in her cell. The other inmates stayed away, terrified by her violent outbursts. Guards thought she was having a mental breakdown, but when they checked on her, they found something deeply disturbing. Fresh bite marks were appearing across her skin. Deep, bleeding impressions, like someone or something had sunk their teeth into her. The guards stood there frozen as the marks formed in real time, right in front of their eyes. These weren't small scratches or self-inflicted wounds. The bite marks were large, the size of a dog's mouth, and placed in areas she couldn't have possibly reached on her own. Clarita wept and shook as she described the entities attacking her. She said they appeared out of thin air. One was a tall, dark figure covered in thick, curly hair, its body twisted and inhuman. The other had a strange, angelic face, but with a long, menacing mustache and a voice that chilled her to the bone. She said they bit her, clawed her, mocked her in strange languages, and then vanished, leaving only blood, bruises, and terror behind. Doctors were brought in. One psychiatrist examined Clarita and found her mentally sound. No hallucinations, no signs of psychosis. Still, he couldn't explain what he saw next. As he stood by her side, another bite mark began to appear, right on her neck, as if the air itself had teeth. Word of the possessed girl spread like wildfire. Journalists flooded the jail, and eventually the story reached Mayor Arsenio Lacson, one of the most powerful men in Manila. Skeptical but curious, he visited her cell. What he witnessed shook him. Clarita convulsed on the floor, crying in agony. Then, right in front of the mayor's eyes, new bite marks erupted on her arm. He ordered his staff to document everything, but no one knew what to do. Catholic priests refused to get involved. Doctors had no answers. The attacks wouldn't stop. That's when someone suggested calling in Lester Sumrall, an American missionary and pastor who had spent years in the Philippines. Sumrall didn't believe it at first. He assumed it was mental illness or spiritual exaggeration. But when he met Clarita, his confidence vanished. She was frail, pale, and terrified. Her body was marked with fresh wounds, some of them hours old, some bleeding, but it was her voice that disturbed him most. Clarita spoke in fluent English, perfect English, despite never having studied the language. She cursed him, threatened him, and then she began to speak in other languages. Ones even Sumrall didn't recognize. It wasn't her. It was something else, using her voice. Sumrall began to pray over her. The moment he did, Clarita screamed. Her body thrashed violently, and her face twisted into something unrecognizable. Something that didn't belong to a 17-year-old girl. This continued for 3 full days. Each time Sumrall returned, the demons fought harder. Clarita would fall unconscious, then wake up shrieking, foaming at the mouth, or laughing in voices that didn't sound human. But Sumrall never stopped. He prayed. He commanded the entities to leave. He stood in that jail cell and fought for a girl no one else seemed willing to help. And finally, on the third day, it ended. Clarita collapsed to the floor, silent, still. Then she looked up at him with tears in her eyes and whispered, "They're gone." Just like that, the attack stopped. The bite marks faded. The howling, the shrieking, the strange voices all vanished. Clarita was free. After the exorcism, Sumrall helped Clarita find work and a safe place to live. She never experienced another episode. Her story faded from the headlines, but never from the memories of those who saw what happened. To this day, the possession of Clarita Villanueva is considered one of the most chilling and well-documented supernatural cases in Southeast Asian history. Eyewitnesses included police officers, medical professionals, journalists, and even the mayor of Manila. All of them said the same thing. "We saw it happen, and we can't explain it." Was it demonic? Was it psychological? A dark force inherited from her mother's rituals? Or something even older? The truth may never be known, but what we do know is that something real happened inside that jail, and it left behind scars that no one could ignore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this terrifying true story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another horror story from the shadows. Have a theory about what really happened to Clarita? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, some stories don't end when the screaming stops.